Welcome back. Moving on to our first segment for today. Well, on the occasion of Sinai Liberation Day, which was celebrated on Tuesday, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development announced the Citizen Investment Plan for North and South of Sinai for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Over the phone, we have Dr. Youmn Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Shams University. Hello.
Hello, Nashwa.
Good morning, doctor. So first of all, if I'm going to talk about this important plan adopted for more developments taking place in Sinai, which of course is very, very important. So what are the most important measures adopted by the Egyptian leadership to follow with this important plan?
Actually, for the day of celebration for returning back Sinai, which is a precious land for all Egyptians, and we are looking forward for, having Sinai as a very important part, full of activities, full of people, Egyptians, that can, exploit such important resources existing according to our studies as economists. Sinai is a land full of resources, and these resources are in deep need to be exploited, and Sinai to be an active part of Egypt in order to achieve a better economic development from one perspective. From another, to be a very precious land, attractive for all Egyptians to go there and to find opportunities of job, that may exist by enhancing investments and, as I mentioned, using such resources. From here it comes the importance of reconstruction of Sinai and having the main infrastructure projects necessary in order to exploit such resources. And actually Egypt witnessed during the last period several of these, mega projects regarding transportation. For example, nowadays Sinai has been linked with other parts of Egypt by tunnels, and these tunnels actually linked Egypt with Sinai properly enough in order to, make economic activities more feasible. Another thing is by linking, Upper Egypt with all parts of Sinai, and this is very important because we have developed quite well 5 ports in Sinai, starting from the area of Suez Canal, economic area of Suez Canal, to the El Tur, El Ad ports. All these ports have been developed quite well so that to enhance economic activities with Sinai to other parts of the world. And these projects actually can be regarded as a very important prerequisite to develop Sinai and to attract investments in order to exploit resources there. We have mineral resources, we have natural resources. Nowadays also we can have very good potentialities for agricultural products and food industries related to agricultural products. We have potentialities for silica, and semiconductors. We have potentialities for herbs, for medicine industries. According to our studies, very high potentialities for visible projects into several, sectors of the economy. So this infrastructure enabled, and opening the door for attracting investment in this very precious area for all Egyptians.
The fact that also the Sinai citizen is always included in all these developments and plays or used as an integral part in this respect also has a great effect on this important project. How do you see this?
Yes, this is very, very important topic, Nashwa, to be mentioned, because all these activities actually are happening in order to enhance the quality of life for Sinai living there. We know quite well that people in these areas have suffered a lot from disturbance, conflicts, and so on. And it's time nowadays, after combating terrorists in these areas, to start to develop these areas and to open opportunities of job for Sinai people. And I believe that the activities that have been done nowadays, including human capital regarding enhancing health services as well as educational services. We have nowadays several universities in Sinai in order to upgrade skills, as well as nowadays the government is quite interested towards enhancing technical applied schools as well as technical education, all types of technical education to upgrade skills. So this building human resources can be regarded as essential. But meanwhile, at the same time, we have to know that the area is quite huge, resources are huge, so it may attract people from other parts of Egypt. And we have a very condensed populated area in Egypt that, we can have a very good opportunity to attract youth specifically into new areas in Sinai to have opportunities of job and to cooperate with Sinai people towards developing Sinai, the area. Because, investment is required human resources, and building human resources can be regarded as a cornerstone for any projects to be developed in these areas. So hopefully that these activities towards attracting human resources to the peninsula, and this can be done by offering opportunities of job and shelter and all the facilities for people to go there and to, find such opportunities and to cooperate with Sinai people, and believe it needs a lot of work to be done so that we can achieve such goals.
Also, huge efforts are exerted towards women empowerment in these areas.
Yes, indeed. And the participation of women in economic activity is quite important. We have women can participate in food industries, they can participate in handicrafts, and we have our traditional industries in handicraft in Sinai that, attracting, they are penetrating international markets. Still, it needs from us a better, quality of production, better finishing, and marketing, good plans of marketing so that we can achieve a better, solutions and a better opportunities for those women. So the gender perspective actually is required for all economic activities regarding small business, regarding upgrading skills of women, linked these women with opportunities all over Egypt as well as international markets. So I believe that started some project, but needs more effort to be done so that we can enlarge choices for women there. Besides, a very important item in building capabilities for girls and women in Sinai is enhancing educational services in these areas, and having a very strong and sophisticated system of monitoring and evaluation to monitor to how extent these activities are achieving their goals.
Doctor, also talking about such projects and the fact of linking the Eastern Egypt portal to the Delta by making the canal cities a natural extension of the Nile Valley as well.
Of course, Nashwa, quite important nowadays to enhance, the agricultural capabilities of Egypt, taking into consideration scarcity of water and the impact of climate change. Egypt is working quite hard to address these challenges, and I believe that the projects that have been done in water desalination as well as enhancing the capacity of water providing for farmers and everywhere in Egypt, and having new systems using technology towards saving water. I believe all these activities are taking part nowadays intensively in Egypt, so that to save water and to rationalize using water. I believe that by using such methods in Sinai, this may help us to better utilize our resources, including water, and to have the best of the value added from agricultural products. Nowadays, we have plans to enhance and to enlarge areas of cultivated areas in Sinai, and by linking, by providing water in these areas using El Salam Canal. All these projects that have taken a lot of expenditure and finance. I believe nowadays we have to rationalize using all this expansion for enhancing our agricultural products, as well as transfer these agricultural products into industries to penetrate international markets. These are the main challenges that are, confronting Egypt nowadays in order to enhance our competitiveness in the international market and to enlarge the participation of Egypt into the world economy.
Doctor, we are working on mega projects or such huge projects on one side, and also on the other side, Egypt is giving much concern to the small and medium enterprises. And I believe that this is going to be very, very important in Sinai. In addition, of course, whenever we talk about this, we need to talk more about the feeding industry, because this is going to be the feeding industry for the projects taking place over there.
Yes, indeed. And Nashwa, when you make strategies in order to develop such areas and to use resources efficiently enough, we need the three types of projects, large and mega projects, as well as middle and small and micro even. And I believe that, integrating these types of projects may result in the best output, and the best visibility. And this is what we need to do when we mention planning. Economic planning, the main aim of economic planning is to specify which resources can be exploited, which resources are in need for large projects as well and small, how these are going to be integrated into clusters, for example, and how to attract investors to come and to fulfill these needs. I believe a lot of work still needed to be done so that we can reach the best exploitation of our resources.
Also, there's an interesting fact when we talk about all these developments taking place in Sinai. We find that not only the Sinai youth are attracted to be part of these projects, but we can find youth from Cairo, from other governorates, who are really very, very interested to travel, to stay in Sinai, to start their own life, and to be an integral part of such projects.
Yes, I mentioned that before, and what is quite important to achieve these goals, because Sinai people are not actually sufficient to fulfill the ambitious plans for achieving or fulfilling the requirement in the labor market done or demanded by such all types of projects we mentioned. We need mega projects as well as other types. So we need human resources, and not only human resources, but qualified human resources. And in order to do that, we need to attract youth and concentrating on women from different parts of Egypt. I believe the main methods that can be done, and according to other experiences, that as long as you can offer a good package of incentives for those youth to go and to participate in the development of Sinai, and this package should include, as I mentioned before, a shelter and opportunity of job, a sustainable and decent opportunity of job. And I believe that with such investment, we can have this. And by developing, training centers and educational services in these areas, all this needs a lot of efforts to be done. And I believe that the participation of private sector is essential, because the government cannot by itself doing all this, taking into consideration the constraint in our budget. But the participation of private sector and attracting foreign direct investment may help to large extent to achieve such goals.
Doctor, how do you see the impact of all these projects taking place in Sinai, its impact on the Egyptian economic map in general?
It's huge, as our studies can prove, Nashwa, because, you have in Sinai tourism activities, you have in Sinai industrial activities, agricultural activities, you have very good potentiality for information technology. So if you succeed to attract investment in all these sectors of the economy, I believe this may add a huge amount to the potentiality for enhancing GDP growth and enlarging the size of our sectors of the economy. So this is actually necessitates a lot of job to be done, so that to integrate Sinai fully into economic activities of Egypt, and benefiting from huge, resources that are in Sinai.
Right. Dr. Youmn Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Shams University, thank you very much for joining us. And right now, moving on to a quick break, then we'll be back with more on The Breakfast Show.